Now I know some of you might be getting antsy and you want to just come over here and make a new drawing. Don't do that. Don't be that kid. We're going to keep all of our drawings in the same file. To do that, we're going to go back to Place Views and use this thing that says New Sheet. Click New Sheet. Oh no, everything's gone. It's right here. Sheet 1 is here. Sheet 2 is here. This is still called Footstool. So it's still saved in one file type, and we're going to put all of the parts of this project on the same thing. So we're going to do this in the order that we created them. So we're going to go to Base, and the next one that we want is Top. And again, you probably won't have this because you won't have made it all in the same sitting. So we're just going to search for Top, go to Open. Most important thing on this is going to be that face right there. We don't make this shaded. We make the front page look pretty full. And then after that, what's most important is that we get the dimensions down. So I'm going to double click this. We are going to make an isometric view shaded. We're also going to take this view. So I select it, so there's a red box around it. Go to Projected. I'm going to click over here to the side. Although you really don't need that. Nah, I'm changing my mind. We're getting rid of that. Yep, delete view 5. We're going to make this bigger too. I don't want a 5th scale. Let's go with a 3rd scale. Yes. Let's try that again. Aha. Move this up out of our way a little bit. 3rd scale might be too big. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now, anytime you have something that's rounded, go to Annotate. We want to use a center mark. Reason being, when I put you in the shop, you're going to actually grab something sharp and pound it into the wood with a hammer at each of these marks. So I need you to know how to dimension, measure from the side of that lid to where that mark needs to be, to know how far over and how far up it's going to be. Okay? You also need to know how far over the next one's going to be. It's going to be the same distance up. It's going to be a different distance over. We need to know the total length of this to cut. And if you want this to look really professional, notice as I'm moving my mouse down, it turns gray. It's telling me, hey, that's the perfect spacing. Hit Escape, by the way, if you want to move your dimensions around. So that one's already in the right spot. That one's already in the right spot. And it does it left and right, too. It lets you know when you're center, and it lets you know when you're the right spacing apart here. So that's 463 up. And then you hit Dimension again. Sorry, you can also hit D on your keyboard. D is shortcut for dimension. So from bottom to top, there, 925. And yeah, this is kind of getting in the way. We're going to make that a little bit smaller. We'll make this a 6th scale instead of a 5th. That's not as important. This is letting us know what the finished product should look like. We're going to scoot this up because I don't want that cutting through my title block. I'd rather not have that cutting through over there. Let's scoot that down a little, over a little, up a little bit. Okay, so I have space there, space there. That looks good. Now, I know not everyone is good with their fractions. Add fraction to decimal. So we're going to right click one of these dimensions. Go down to Edit Dimension Style. And here, where it says Format Decimal, we're going to change that to fraction. Precision is going to go down to the 16th of an inch. And we're going to say Done. Yes, Save Edits. It's going to change all of these to something you can more easily find on a ruler. So you're welcome. I'm going to hit Escape a couple of times and see if maybe this will scoot over. Yeah, that looked like it was too far out. There we go. That looks way better. Okay. Let's keep going. We're going to try and get 2 of these per video. So back to place views, new sheet. Let's go to base. We want that piece next. That piece is called the side. We're going to go to open, and we want this to be kind of big. So what I say, a third? Yeah, that looks good. And we'll make an isometric view over here. The reason why we're not showing a thickness, we only need the one view. You're buying this as a 1x10 board. You don't need to tell people how thick to make it because it's already that thickness. Okay, so here's some things that you need for the side. We need you to know how to measure over to mark that line, that it's 1 inch over, to mark this one. So you don't have to move your ruler over. I know it's 1.5 inches this way, 1.5 inches this way. But if you just lay out your ruler, you should be able to say 1.5, 7 3/4, and the whole thing is 9 1/4. Come on, where's that magic spot? There we go. We're going to dimension from the bottom of this to that point there. This is 1 inch. Bottom to the top of that arc is 1 3/4. Come on. There it is. Bottom of that to the center of this, we can't get yet because I forgot to put in center points. Hit escape, go to annotate, choose your center mark, click on the round parts of that slot, go back to dimension, go from the bottom to the center, click over on the side, done. Bottom to the top, over to the side, done. Now we're not quite done yet, right? Because I still need to know how far over from here to here. I need to mark that center, and it didn't grab the center. That's weird. Let's try that again. So go dimension, side, to the center mark. That looks way better. Side to the next center mark. That looks good too. Are we done? No. We also need to know this radius. And again, it's going to be more helpful to know diameter than radius, so maybe I'll have you do that. If you go to dimension, you click this round part. Before you click to set it down, if you right click, you can go dimension type and say diameter. This will let you know exactly what drill bit to grab, because if you try and grab a 5/8 inch drill bit, it's not going to look right at all. So if you know that's a 1/8 inch diameter for that slot, I'm sorry, 1 1/4 inch diameter for that slot, that'll make things go a lot easier. I don't really care about what the radius of this is. Like technically it's a 6 7/8, and if this was a detailed engineering drawing, that would definitely be there. The reason why I'm kind of hem-hawing around about putting it there is you're not going to measure this in any way. You're measuring how far up you're cutting straight, you're measuring where you're stopping, and you're just going to kind of sketch out by freehand a curve that's going to hit that point and hit both of these points. So, it is what it is. Let's make sure we put in your name and the name of the piece. And I think I forgot to do that on sheet 2, so let's go back there and text. This is the top.